Okay, so let's start drawing something. Yeah, let's just start drawing something and then we'll navigate through this thing the other way. Okay, so this box that we drew right here, it was a 12-inch by 12-inch box, right? And it is right at the 0, 0 coordinate point. Okay, um, let's just start off with the ribbon, home ribbon. So in the home ribbon, you pretty much have not all of, but most of the common commands that you'll use in AutoCAD. So the drawing commands up here, draw line, polyline, circle, arc, and boxes and circles and ellipse and stuff like that. You can also expand this and have a little bit more. Or in the modify is the editing of the lines and such. So you can move, rotate, trim, all that stuff. That same thing that was in the Rhino. Annotation, which is text and stuff, text and dimension lines that we'll play with. Layers, we dealt with the layers in Rhino on the right hand side there. Layers will get you, well, we'll set up layers in the drawing so that we can organize the drawing a little bit better. Okay? And we'll be coming back to all this, so don't worry too much about it. The blocks, inserting drawings and stuff. Properties, which is kind of like your layer commands in Rhino, where you can set the line types and the line weights and all that stuff. And then you have utilities such as units, which will measure and so on. So you have cut, paste, copy in here as well. On your screen, this should already be as part of this ribbon. Okay, so like I said, the same list of command here are pretty much listed in a further detail in these other tabs. Okay, like the annotate, insert, which is part of this insert, but this insert gets more heavily detailed into the more commands that we may or may not use. Annotate, which we can set up all of the text type and all that. Basically, all of these are a more complex version of the annotation in your home tab. Okay, so view, we could set the viewports and the UCS and all that stuff, and so on and so on. Okay. But for the main part, like I said, we'll be using this home tab to navigate through the thing. So let's start off with drawing a line. If we click on the line, that'll get you the line tool. So I guess for the heck of it, just click on one place, let go of the, left click and then left click somewhere else and just draw anything, and it doesn't matter what size it is, just draw anything. So these lines were created as a line. We could draw another line as a polyline and do the similar stuff. Enter to get out of it, and just like in AutoCAD, just like in Rhino, you have a choice of lines, which is it acts as each line that you drew acts as its own individual entity, while the polyline acts as a string of lines. Okay, most of the time we should be drawing in polyline. You could always take a polyline and explode it to make it into individual polylines and such. Okay, so again, depending on the stuff that we're going to do, just select polyline as the drawing tool. Okay, just like in Rhino, you can select windows or you can select individual objects, escape, or select everything, which is by window. If we left click on the mouse button, right, it is the it is the window selection. So everything that gets into the area gets highlighted, right? Notice that things get highlighted that enters that blue box. If everything gets entered, it gets highlighted. So this one, oh, I turned it into exploded line, huh? Okay, so that's one way to select. If you go from the right to left, it will be crossing. So whatever crosses gets selected. And that's similar to Rhino as well. Okay. Also, if you click on the left mouse button and hold, it is the lasso selection. Okay. And that some people like, other people kind of gets confused about. I'm the latter where I get confused about it because it's kind of a new thing with AutoCAD. It was in the last version, but I'm still not used to using the lasso. So I keep forgetting to click and let go, and then click again to get into the windows or crossing selection. But when you get used to it, I guess that's fine. So drawing the line, it does act like Rhino, how we did the drafting part when we drew the loft. You can also draw as a single line element and type in where you want the next point to go. So remember, if we type in the @ symbol for relative coordinates, we can say at 10 feet in the x direction and 0 feet in the y direction, and that is my line. So again, similar how we did if we select the point and we forget the @ symbol and say 12 feet comma 0, it will go to the actual coordinate where it is 12 feet over here and at the 0 in the y coordinate. Okay, so relative and absolute coordinate still holds true in this program as well as it did in Rhino. Okay, we did play with the rectangle command already, so again, you can type in at 12 feet comma 12 feet, and that'll give you a 12 foot by 12 foot grid, or I'm sorry, 12 foot by 12 foot square. Again, you can do the same thing with the polyline. Select an area and at 12 foot comma 0, and then go up to at 0 comma 12 foot, and then at negative 12 foot comma 0, and then C for close. That'll get you the same thing, except now we're just entering it through the coordinate system. Okay, if you go into the ortho mode, right, that's this toggle right here, or again with the function key F8, it will constrain your line to the 90 degrees area, right? Okay, so if we type in a command or type in a polyline, we could select area and then say 12 foot, right? And then click on one side. Whoops. Oh, enter. And then point to an area, type in 12 foot. Point to an area, type in 12 foot. That could also give you a quick input. Okay, so again, there are several ways of inputting lines, and it's kind of similar to what we did in Rhino. So whichever way you feel the most comfortable, that's the way you should go. Okay, in the circle command, we have a circle. If it just click and click anywhere, left click anywhere, you'll just draw a circle. Right now the symbol is a symbol for a circle for center and the radius. Okay, so we start off from the center of the circle going out to the radius. You could type in the actual radius that you want, or you have whenever there is this little triangle, you can expand the selection. So now if you select center diameter, you could select, and now it's going from the center both direction. If you go circle 2 points, you could click between any area and it'll fill that portion. Okay, 3 points, that gets a little bit tricky, but you could select any 3 points and it'll get the tangency of those 3 points. Or the tangent of tangent radius, so we could select this tangent and that tangent and figure out a radial point. Oh, this is it. Okay, so I drew 2 circles on there. Okay, so there's several different ways of putting in a circle in there. Okay, so if I had tangent, if I select that tangent, and that tangent, it will put in a circle within a confines of a straight line. Arc, pretty much the same deal, where you can draw a circle or draw an arc from a start, the midpoint, and the end, or expand it and have all of these other ways of inputting the arc, like start, center, end. So if I select that one, starting point, the center point, and then the end point. And usually AutoCAD draws in a counterclockwise direction, so just keep that in mind when you draw. You also have a ellipse tool that draws an ellipse, and different ways of putting in the ellipse, from center to the endpoint or center to the axis. So you select a point and draw the width. Okay. This is a hatch command. We'll come back to that one a little bit later. Okay. There are other drawing tools here, like the ray tool. It will draw a line that starts from one point and goes on pretty much forever, which means to the infinity. Okay. We also have a construction line, which will draw a line forever. So if you, no matter how long you zoom out, basically that has drawn you a, whoa, that has drawn a June. Okay, that has drawn a line that goes on forever and ever and ever. So I don't want that. Okay. So there are several other line tools and spirals and springs that you can draw on here. Most of them which we'll not use, but know that there are more options down here. Okay.